them that have been up, and come back safely, all say that where they may not have believed in God before, they do now. Now, how they see God is a different thing.
Well, exactly. Of course, I understand that, Steve, The deeper you go into it, the more mysterious it becomes. And, down the centuries, we've always thought, well, we don't really understand, so it must be down to God. Steve, let me move on, please. We had a fact. Okay, baby, Kenny and David with us from the Stockport Ghost Society. 28811 to do your calls. A fax from Peter, gentleman, who said, would you ask Kenny and Dave their opinion of electronic voice phenomenon? Is it caused by those who have died, or by what some call elemental forces that are not properly understood by conventional science yet? Do we know?
I've heard quite a lot about that, and apparently it's not been out all that long. It's not an old thing that's come out, because at one time you could able to do it with an old-fashioned tape recorder where you tune into what they call white mist. But this phenomena thing what's just come out, it's supposed to pick up spirit voices. Now, I've not actually seen one, so I can't comment on it, although I have read about them, and have heard that a lot of people have actually picked up spirit voices of people that have died, and in some cases, the voices have been recognised. So I can't really answer that.
So you think it's more spiritual than elemental forces?
I would say so. I mean, all right, voices are picked up like we are now on radio. They threw across on a signal, it is possible that some people, wherever they may be in the world, this thing can catch their voices be talking.
Sure.
I don't really know, but I would like to think it was...
It needs further investigation.
It does.
With all the technology nowadays, and it must be...
There's cross wires, isn't it? It's very easy to pick voices up today, isn't it, out of thin air.
Very much so.
So, I mean, I can't really answer it, but I would like to think that it was spiritual, but then again, I've not really seen one, so...
Another question now. Somebody rang up, gentlemen. They said their aunt had died in July 1980, and a few weeks later, the caller, the mum and the dad were in the kitchen, and Dad said, here's your auntie, and all three saw her a few weeks after her death. Never seen her again. Is that common?
I wouldn't say it's common, and I would never call anybody a liar. What I do say, it is very rare for more than one person, two at the maximum, to see anything. Normally when a person sees something, they see it, they pass the message on to somebody else, you either believe them or don't believe them. But to get 2, 3, maybe 4...
Mum, Dad, and...
I'm not saying they didn't by any means.
Of course you're not.
But all I can say about that is if the person that they have seen obviously is died, then that is just their way of coming to them all and saying, I'm fine, I'm happy, I'm not in pain, I'm still with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Kenny and Dave with us from the Stockport Ghost Society, taking your calls on 288-1152 if you want to ask them specific questions or general questions, or tell your tale. So many people have had some kind of weird, strange experience to do with, the afterlife or ghosts or whatever. Kenny and Dave here on 288-1152. Julie is with us in just a minute or two.
Time to go to work.
Oh, no.
But before you go, have a bowl of corn crispies.
Who are you?
You know how tired you get mid-morning.
I've got a girlfriend, you know.
A bowl of corn crispies is packed with vitamins and minerals.
Really? Vitamins?
And it will carry you through till lunch.
Well, that's very interesting.
Hey, Roger, are you two? Hello.
Are you two together?
Oh, don't get excited. I just do this bit. If you want to reach your audience where other mediums can't, just advertise on the radio. Ad radio. Heard in all the right places.
Shall I put the kettle on?
Addresses of all premium rate telephone services advertised on Piccadilly 1152 are available to inquirers by telephoning 0161 288 5000. The 80s Love Album. perfect love songs from the magical 80s. The 80s Love Album. The finest ballads. The finest love songs. The perfect gift for Mother's Day. The 80s Love Album.
There's only one talk show, and you're listening to it now. James Stannage on Piccadilly Magic, 1152.
Kenny and Dave are with us from the Stockport Ghost Society. And of course, if you'd ever like to go along and meet Kenny and Dave personally, the Stockport Ghost Society meet at the Carousel Pub, just off the main Stockport Road drag on Reddish Road, heading up towards Reddish. The Carousel Pub there, 8 o'clock, the first Wednesday in every month. Everybody welcome. Julie is next. Hello, Julie.
Hi.
Yes, Julie.
Hi. The experience I'm going to tell you about is actually to do with my 9-year-old boy, son. He's actually seen a lady a few times in the bedroom. An old lady described as, you know, the tight, curled grey hair, the little round glasses. And this happened about 6 months ago. And it explained to he'd seen this lady and that she was actually looking over him. And I said, did she say anything? And he said, no, she just walked off and disappeared. She always seems to go near the wardrobe. So a couple of weeks after it happened again, he said she was walking up and down the bedroom, holding, like, he described it as an old candle. I mean, my son's never seen the old-fashioned type candles where they used to hold them with a, you know, the handle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and actually seen this again, and I said, what happened? Did anything else, you know, happen? He said, it's just was like smoke around him, what he described as smoke, you know, around her body sort of thing, and he couldn't see her legs. He could just, as if she was just floating along there, she'd go back and look around at him, and then she'd go back to the wardrobe again. Actually, my sister lives down Slough, and she came down talking about spiritualism and things. My sister's very psychic, my gran was and my mum was. And I'd explained this to my sister, and she had a talk with Simon, and she said, well, when I come down, I'll go in the bedroom and see if I can feel anything. You know, and she could actually describe this lady even before she came down. You know, and she went in the bedroom and she came down and said, you know, there is somebody here, you know, but she's not here to harm him. You know, she's just watching over Simon. And I was just worried that, you know, thinking, God, is she here to harm him sort of thing. That was what was really worrying me.
I've never heard, in all the years we've been doing it, I've never heard of any spirit, visible or otherwise, harming anybody. Apart from poltergeists, and that's only if you get in the road or something they throw at you. Well, they don't throw it at you, they just throw it in if you're there, you know, but no, I've never heard of anybody being...
How old's the house?
It's actually about 30-year-old, and we've asked, you know, neighbours that have been here that long, the old ladies, and there's only one couple that ever had the house, and they're still alive in an old folks home.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it's the house, it could be what was before the house.
That's what actually my sister said, you know.
It's true.
You know, if it's something been built here before, when the house is there. I believe it's an old mining, you know, it's old mines were years and years ago, so. But after my sister had been in the bedroom, it actually never happened again after that. But last week, about time, you know, right before he goes to sleep, he always says, Mum, can you just come in bed and cuddle me, so in my love, and have a talk to him. And this Thursday night, he said, Mum, you're not coming to talk to me. So I said, I was really tired because I've got a little baby. And the next morning, I got up and he said, oh, thanks for coming in my bed last night, Mum. And I thought, God, I'm not even doing this.
Yes, so I assumed it was you.
So I said, oh, so I said, why? I said, I didn't come in your bed, Simon. He said, you did. He said, because you lay down and I put my arm around and give you a love. And he said, and it felt, I said, you sure it wasn't, you know, your sister had come in? He said, no, it was long, Mum. It was just, it felt like you. So you was long. And I thought, oh, God.
Do you think it was a little old lady?
Well, this is what I thought, but my sister also said to me that I've got a very restless soul. And when we were young, she used to always, because she had this gift from being really young. You know, my gran used to say, I'll try and bring you out of it, you know, get you going sort of thing. And she said she used to many times see me slowly in my body. And she couldn't wake me up. She sort of seen me float off and then come back again. She said, Mr. What should you do? And a few of my brothers used to say the same. So whether it was me, you know, she said it could have been you.
Possible, isn't it? Even that's possible.
Is this old lady that's in the house, do you think there's any connection between her, you know, and our relatives?
Well, I asked, you know, I've asked my dad and everybody, and the way I've described it, he says, no, I don't know anyone like that.
And nobody...
And I thought, you know,
if you're going back to candles, you're going pre-war, aren't you?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I said, what's she wearing? And he said, you know, I can't see no, it's dark.
Did you...
Clothes are dark.
Was it your sister, did you say? Did she not pick up anything on names or anything?
No. She just picked up this old lady that was really pleasant, very peaceful, loving lady. And, you know, she said, please, you know, I don't want to, you know, can you stay away from me now? I don't want you to be frightening me.
And it's never been since?
No, she's not been. Only this is life. Oh, you know, this one, he thought I was in his bed. Yeah. And I thought, you know, what is that, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
So, I mean, you know, in all honesty, I mean, could it have been you?
yeah, perhaps.
Could it have been?
Perhaps it could have been, yeah.
I mean, people talk about these out-of-body experiences. I know that they only said they go and see things and come back, but is it possible that you could have had an out-of-body experience, gone to your son's room?
Because she said, I don't get any vibes that lady's come back. She was in it last time, so...
What were you actually doing at the time?
At the time
of your son feeling this presence next to him?
I was in bed at the front room for the bed.
So you was in bed asleep?
Yeah, it was during the night, you know, he said that he felt somebody get in the bed. I said, oh, hi, Mum, put his arms on him. I said, what did you do? He said, he just went back to sleep. But he said, I'm sure it was you, Mum.
And your son wasn't sort of, you know, half and half dreaming or whatever. And just because you've always been in his room, well, near enough, and maybe he was dreaming and assumed that you did go in.
Well, I said that to him. I said, oh, you might have had a little dream, Simon. But he said, no, man. I said, I could see you getting in and I talked to you, but you didn't answer me. I just put my arm out you.
Yeah.
Give you a kiss.
Yeah.
So, well, he doesn't frighten him, you know, but my sister said, you know... my sister said, I'm sure he's got psychic tendencies. Because he describes many times...
And it's nice to know that at least you can have a spirit come into your room that is comforting.
Yeah, and he says that, you know, he sees many times little blue lights and purple lights floating around.
That's spirit light, yeah, that is spirit light, definitely.
Yeah, he says, I see that, Mum, all the time, you know.
Yeah, you can actually capture them on photography.
He's in a toy corner where he's got his toys.
Yeah.
He says, when I look, Mum, he always seems to, as if they're hiding from me. So whether you know, this is the very blind that he's psychic himself.
Have you got any photographs within your house? In your son's bedroom or?
No.
You haven't? Maybe it's a suggestion that you should just take 1 or 2 flash pictures.
Yeah.
And you can get spirit light on the photographs, and they come in very, very circular, almost transparent orbs, I call them, like little marbles, and you know, you can get the size of a ping pong ball, but they truly stand out on photography, and they are spirit lights, it's spirit energy. So
I'll try that. I will.
Just try it, but look very carefully on the photograph. Don't just look at the picture and say there's no there.
Yeah, have a good look.
Have a really good look.
I will do. Oh, thanks for...
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay.
Fascinating. Julie. Piccadilly Magic 11:52. The boys from the Stockport Coast Society, Kerry and Dave, are here with us, taking your calls 288-1152. Deborah should be next. Hello, Deborah.
Hello?
Yes, Deborah.
Hiya.
Hiya.
It's something that's been really bugging me for years. Now, what it is, when, I mean, I'm nearly 32 now. When I was 7 or 8, I saw this grey thing in the bedroom at the bottom of the bed. And I woke up screaming to my mum, and she come in. What had happened was, I was there, I saw this thing, I started crying, and it disappeared at the blink of an eye. When my mum come in, I told her that I saw a glass claw. Now, no one's afraid of a glass claw. But I'm wondering, at that age, why did I come out with the word glass claw? And it was like a grey thing I saw. It was about 3 foot tall at the bottom of my bed. And my mum thought, well, she says I was dreaming and having nightmares. But I really did see this thing, and I want to know what it was. I've never ever looked it up.
Well, can you describe this grey thing in any more detail?
Well, it looked like a teddy, a big grey teddy. But, I mean...
What's the word for it, Deborah? Grass glow.
Glass glow, I called it.
Glass glow.
And it stayed on my mind all these years. A glass glow or a glass gore. And I've never ever looked it up, but I think it might mean something in a foreign language. I mean, I could have been reincarnated or something. Because I also remember being on a plane before I was on one. I went on a plane for the first time when I was about 17 or 18. Now, I'd also remembered being on a plane, and I knew what it looked like from the inside. And when I first got on a plane at 18, I saw what I saw.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if it's now to do with that. But ever since then, I've had like ESP as well.
Yeah.
I've sort of like had a weird sense in my head, and I know something's. I sit up and say something wrong somewhere, but I never know what it is. And it's like one time I had this. I was working at a pub, collecting glasses and that, and I was dead happy walking along this road, and I was in a good mood and everything. And I turned this corner of this road, and all of a sudden I was depressed. And I couldn't understand why I was just depressed at this minute. And I was depressed then for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And the next day, I heard on the radio that someone had got murdered on the road.
There, so you walked through the energy.
I don't know, but someone got murdered on this road the night that I'd walked down. But someone had got murdered inside an house on this road.
Yeah.
Well, and I was depressed like for the rest of the night.
It's what it is. It's a very, very common thing that if a person has anything to do with spirit, or like you just said, you walked down the road and then found out, a murder had occurred. You walk through energy of a spirit that was there, and obviously you didn't know about the murder.
No,
and what happens is these sort of bits of spirit, they hang on to your aura, the aura that surrounds your body.
Yeah.
They hang on to it, and mediums can cleanse you. Mediums can cleanse your aura off and take it away from you.
Yeah.
But it's a very common thing for a person to be depressed for a while after having contact with spirit.
Yeah, but I didn't know that at the time.
No, you didn't. You
didn't. Since then, I've had other things but it's only been little things. I've had I just get this weird feeling, and I can sit up out of bed and say something's wrong somewhere, and if my husband's not in, I think, he's in, I can't cross, and I think all these bad things. I mean, it doesn't happen now. It used to happen a lot. And one of the times I had these feelings, my mum's house got robbed. Another time, my mate's dog got run over. And it's just little things.
Yeah.
But I never knew what it was.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, every living person has a spirit guide, which sometimes make you aware of possible danger or whatever is going to happen. And they tell you these things mentally, but a lot of people, they just don't listen to them, so they fob them off.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you find out this has happened and that's happened, and you thought, well, I thought about that, I know it's happened.
Yeah,
it's just that you were told.
My son's got it as well now. Yeah. I've got a son now, and so my son's, he's 7 at the moment, and 2 years ago he had it.
Yeah.
We used to frighten him, we used to let him play in the garden, and when it started getting dark in the summertime, he had to come in. And we frightened him with this, the Dennis film?
Yeah, I do.
It's got this scruffy guy in it, what's called, I don't know if it's called Jimmy, but we called him Jimmy Dark. And we said, look, Jimmy Dark will come and get you if you don't come in.
Yeah.
So we used to always be frightened of this Jimmy Dark, but there was a person round our way called Jimmy, and he looked dead scruffy like this person.
Yeah.
And one night he had a nightmare, and he come into my room about 3 in the morning, and he says, Mum, Jimmy Dark's downstairs.
Yeah.
So I said, no, he's not. I said, you're having a nightmare, go back to bed. I said, no.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to set the house on fire. So I said, well, no, you're having a nightmare, go to bed. Anyway, the next day, this Jimmy that we did know that we called Jimmy Dark, he burnt himself alive. He'd gone home from the fire. He'd gone home, it was a cold night, it was snowing.
Yeah.
He was in front of the fire, and his pants set alight, and he got burnt alive. And it's like my son, and he was only 5 then, and the next day he said, Jimmy Dark said, Mum, And so he's got that ESP, because as he was saying it must have been happening, and I was getting shivers down my spine. But, I mean, I've not mainly phoned about the ESP side. I want to know what this Glasgow thing is, what I saw. Why would they call it a Glasgow? Is it a foreign name for something, or I'd like to know, really.
I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of it. The only thing...
No one has.
No. The only thing I have ever seen and heard of that resembles it is what they call lower entities.
Yeah.
Which are helpers of, like, poltergeist spirit, if you want.
Yeah.
Do you know when people say they've been attacked by spirit?
Yeah.
These are helpers, and they're called lower entities. They're like the dredges, the little baddies, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they help the poltergeist spirit to commit certain acts on people, you know, when they get attacked. Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of that...
But I thought, why at that age would they come out with something? It's only me that knows what it is, and I thought it might mean something in a foreign language.
I've never heard of it, I don't know.
But no
not unusual for kids to make up their own words. No. How old were you, Julie? Deborah?
Deborah.
Sorry,
yes.
we just done Julie. How old were you, Deborah?
I was 7 or 8 at the time.
Yeah.
But it's a word that's not known, so where have I got it from?
Could just have come into your head, honey.
You may just open a book one day and there it'll be with, you know, an
explanation. It's just been on my mind ever since. Why have I said a word but no one knows about? And, you know... I just thought it might mean something.
I don't know.
Maybe in a foreign language or something.
Have you tried looking in a dictionary?
No, I've never ever looked it up, but it's always played on my mind that it must mean something.
It just bugs you.
And it's just bugging me.
A big grey teddy bear called a Glasgow or something. No, Deborah, we don't know. Fascinating. Piccadilly Magic 11:52. Kenny and David with us, the boys from the Stockport Ghost Society. Taking your calls on 288-1152. Lorna is next. Hello, Lorna.
Hello there.
Hi, Lorna.
Hello. I have to excuse me, I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to talking on the radio. I think I've spoke to you before about this story. I'm not sure if it was yourselves or someone else in a different society. A couple of years ago, my auntie phoned up first of all to tell you about a ghost she experienced something in London in her flat, and she was telling you about her niece who went down to visit, and then I phoned up later to continue the story.
I'm not sure, unless you remind us, Laura, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's a progression from that, really. Well, progression in yourself. Well, I was about 15, and I was visiting my auntie just the day we went down to visit. She moved into this flat, and we helped her move in. And the first night we stayed, my auntie and my gran, who came with me, and my auntie's daughter stayed in the bedroom, and I stayed in the front room on a couch. And it was quite an open plan room, and there was a kitchen that was held up. The breakfast bar was held up by a large pillar going from floor to ceiling. And it happened about 3 o'clock in the morning each time. I saw this girl, and I was still awake at that time. I think it was the idea of being in a strange place. It kept me awake. And I could feel something watching me. I was reading a book. And I didn't move my head, I just moved my eyes towards the kitchen, and I saw this girl just watching me, and she jumped back behind the pillar. And as you can imagine, at that age I was a little scared, and it happened a few times. I told my auntie and my gran about it, but they thought, young girl with his imagination, it was probably just the car lights reflecting on the ceiling, something like that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the 2 weeks, I'd seen this girl 3 times. The third time, it was exactly 3 o'clock in the morning each time I saw her in the same place. The third time I saw her, I thought, you know, this is ridiculous. So I got up and I walked over to the kitchen, and I looked behind the pillar, but nothing was there. So that was the end of that. After the 2 weeks was up, my gran had gone home to Manchester, and my mum and dad and sister had come up to see my auntie, stay a couple of days and bring me back. The first night nothing happened. The second night, my auntie actually got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and as she was coming out of her bedroom, she saw this girl, And at first she thought it might be either myself and my sister. So she said, Lorna, is that you, Philippa? And this girl just looked at her and moved slowly back into the bathroom. So Pamela reached for the hall light, and when she switched it on, she got a bit of a shock because the bathroom was closer to her. And the girl seemed to have disappeared into this imaginary door that disappeared once the light came on. Now, she wasn't quite aware of what she saw, so she continued to go to the bathroom, and while she was in there, I think it dawned on her what she had just seen. So she went back into the bedroom and woke people up, and, you know, it all came out what had happened. I was still asleep at this time, and Pamela and my sister were in the kitchen, and they were talking to this girl saying, we don't know, you know, what do you want us to do? Is there something you need us to do? Do you want us to help you? And as they were saying that, a lemonade bottle on the kitchen breakfast bar started to sway and knock from side to side. We left that day and came back to Manchester, all of us. And Pamela didn't really want to go back, so she'd go back for a number of weeks. When she did go back, this ghost pushed her little daughter in the air and sent her flying. And when her daughter calmed down crying, she told her daddy in a little, she's only a child in a child's words, that a naughty lady had pushed her. And she said, there she is, and she pointed to the doorway that Pamela saw her in.
Decided to have press conferences better
That was that. She left there after a couple of more days. She never went back.
So do you know any history at all about what's been witnessed? I mean,
I never went back, but
you didn't ask questions. You didn't ask anybody.
I didn't ask questions. No, Pamela went to her local priest and said a prayer, hoping, you know, this is while she was still in the flat, hoping something would happen. You know, maybe the girl could move on. A couple of years later, I was in my nana's house, which is just a few doors down. And she was on holiday, and I was staying, well, my auntie was down as well from London, and she was staying there, and I was helping her tidy the house before they got back. She was out when this happened, and I was at the top of the stairs when I felt something brush past my back. And as you can imagine, I just froze because I thought I was the only person there. And as I turned, I saw what looked like a silhouette on a wall, but it was in mid-air, and it moved into the bathroom. That was that. A few more things have happened to me. It seems the older I get and the more, well, I suppose I could say I'm quite religious. The more religious I get and the more I get into my religion, the more things keep seeming to happen to me. I suppose I could say I'm a little scared, and I do want to advance with it, but at the same time I'm too...
Do you visit spiritualist churches by any means?
No, not really.
Does that not enter your mind? Because, I mean, I would have thought it would have done if you want to get a bit closer to...
Well, I have done in the past, but very rarely. The other night I was at my mother's friend's, she had a clairvoyant round. And I suppose I went because I was curious and I wanted to ask him a few questions myself. And so this gentleman who went to see had been on my mind all day. I suppose you could say I was opening myself up to him. And all the way through the night I was the last one to go in. And I just walked in and sat down, and the first thing he said was, "Yes, you are psychic." He said, "Yes."
Did that make you feel any better?
Oh, I started laughing. I thought, you know, how did you know? Well, I know how you know, but... He told me my granddad was watching over me, and he apparently had some similar abilities, and it had probably been passed on to me. The person I thought was my spirit guide wasn't. He's obviously just a member of my family. He told me an Indian was watching over me. He was my spirit guide.
I wonder why it's sort of known that it's Indians that are spirit guides.
I don't know. It wasn't what I thought was a spirit guide at all.
I think the Indians had a much more...
Is it because they're outside people and they know the life better?
They were more down to nature.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They were out, weren't they?
More spiritually, aware.
I don't know. But you know, the 9-year-old, I mean, children have this gift for some reason when they're very young, and if they don't hang on to it or develop it, they lose it later in life.
When I was young, I had some experiences, but I thought they were just coincidences. And then I lost it for a while. Well, I lost interest, really, growing up more in things becoming important, like school and things like that. As I reached about 16, well, after I saw that girl, actually, things started to progress from there. The clairvoyant I went to see the other night asked me how advanced I was. Well, I said, well, I don't know in terms of how you see it, because I don't know, the intricate details of it. I just know what I experience. Sometimes I can feel if it's something bad trying to come through. I don't know if, sometimes I can't distinguish whether it's good or bad. I just get a really unnerved feeling. And sometimes I just don't want to know. I'm not ready. I'm not, just leave me alone. So I have a little ritual where
you see, that's what your guardian angels are supposed to be about, to protect you from bad spirit, negativity.
Well, I have a little ritual. I come in my room and I just stick the headphones on as loud as I possibly can.
To block out the outside world.
To block it out, what's coming through, and so I can just concentrate. And I even turn the light off. I know it sounds silly, but I don't want to see it coming. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
I don't want to see it, and it's not until I'm ready I want, I don't want anything to happen, because I don't feel I'm ready.
So do you think you're going to progress with this?
I don't know. I'd like to, but I don't want to get any shocks.
No, I don't think you will be allowed to receive shocks. These are why you have your protectors, your spirit guides, your guardian angels. They're there to teach you. And I don't think they would allow anything as bad as to severely shock you to come through. I mean, it takes a long time to be taught. You've got to start at the bottom of the ladder and work upwards like in any other subject.
Well, the man I saw the other day, he took my address and he's going to send me some. He wanted me to join this group or something.
What group's that?
I think it's a psychic group or something where you progress together. I'm not too sure about it, but I'll see what happens. I don't really want to jump into something I don't really know anything about. But saying that, I won't know anything about it until I,
But I wouldn't jump into any groups. I mean, I would first of all make sure that it's a proper spiritualist group, at least. One that has a good reputation, if you have one nearby you, that you can go and visit and talk to the teacher. Maybe she'll welcome you into their group and teach you slowly.
Are you getting more religious, Lorna, or do you think it's more spiritual? Because there is a big difference,
Well, I had an experience a couple of years ago when I was quite depressed. And I had, what you could think of as a breakdown, I suppose. And my body just completely collapsed on me. And I was on the floor and I couldn't move. Now, this is really when I started to become religious. Because as far as I was concerned, I was on the floor, I couldn't move, and I fell asleep. And I woke up, though, in my bed, and I felt so protected, and I felt like I was a baby being cradled in someone's arms. Now, whether I got up by myself subconsciously, I probably could have done, I'll never know. But I suppose what's important is I actually felt the presence of God around me, and I felt like I was being very protected and looked over, you know. So
your mortality.
Yeah, I suppose that's when...
And this is when you look...
I started to get
Yeah,
more...
sounds it, doesn't it?
But I suppose the more I think about it, the more I talk to God, the more, you know...
The deeper you go. Yeah, the deeper you go.
The deeper I go, the more I seem to progress. But
yeah.
I don't really feel like I need this to be religious, no.
Yeah, yeah.
But it seems to be happening nonetheless.
Yeah. And it comforts you at the same time, doesn't it?
It does, but it can be a little frightening.
It's because you don't understand.
Because I don't understand.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie pie, we'll move on. Kenny and Dave are here from the Stockport Ghost Society, taking your calls 288-1152. I think another Julie is with us in just a minute or two.
Jojo, you know this week's mail on Sunday?
Yeah.
Well, inside there's a £10 cashback voucher for leading Microsoft software.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, I thought I'd pop out and buy some Microsoft software, but I've not decided whether to get in Carter, Age of Empires Gold, or Auto Route Express 2000. For anyone I buy, Microsoft will send me back £10.
Great, but Duncan, we haven't got a computer.
Yeah, but with this £10 we can start saving for one, yeah?
Yeah. The Microsoft £10 cashback voucher in this week's mail on Sunday is valid at leading software retailers.
The 80s Love Album. Perfect love songs from the magical 80s. The 80s Love Album. The finest ballads. The finest love songs. The perfect gift for Mother's Day. The 80s Love Album.
The Phone Bar is an interactive message exchange service. So if you want to talk to exciting new people, call now on 0930 20 30 30. For just 50p a minute, you can swap messages instantly, and with up to 150 people in the bar right now, you're sure to find someone to interest you. You must be over 18, and calls can last longer than 5 minutes. So if you fancy a chat and you're looking for a good time, call now on 0930 20 30 30. That's 0930 20 30 30.
There's only one talk show, and you're listening to it now. James Stannage on Piccadilly Magic 1152.
Kenny and Dave are with us from the Stockport Ghost Society. Julie is next. Hello, Julie. Have I got the name wrong here? It should be Julie, I think. Hello, Julie. Oh, it's Gwyneth. Gwyneth.
Yes.
It's you, John. Sorry, somebody given me the wrong name, darling. Gwyneth.
Oh, dear, you can't have the wrong woman at this time of the morning, surely.
It's very confusing, darling. Yes, Gwyneth.
Yes. Well, mine's rather funny to say. It's not ghosts so much as spirits, I think. But it's going back an awful long time. My father died in 1963. And in 1966, I'd gone up to bed. My husband was watching a programme on telly, and I'd gone up to bed, and I was putting my rollers in and watching the telly. I'd not got the bedroom light on, but I'd got the landing light on. And all of a sudden, the light in the doorway seemed to darken. I thought, oh, damn it, my husband's come up and I've not finished putting my curlers in. Looked towards the door, and who should be stood there but my father. And he was in his working clothes. He wasn't misty or anything like that. He'd got his working trousers and braces and that on. He looked towards me and pointed out through the bedroom window. And he went. So when my husband come up, I told him what had happened, and he thought I'd gone funny or something. Well, next day I was telling this story, and I was telling it to a friend, and this friend was the daughter of a 7th child, and they seem to have, I think you'll agree, they seem to have some mystic premonition type things, these 7th children.
7th son of a 7th son is supposed to be the biggie, isn't it?
Well, something like that. Anyway, she said to me, oh, it's a warning, that. I said, a warning? I said, why should my dad come and warn me about anything? Anyway, within a week, my son had been killed.
Did it? Where did it? It didn't happen outside, though, did it?
My son was killed on a motorbike. Yes, he was 17.
Did he not look out the window when he pointed to the window?
Yes, he pointed. My father looked at me, pointed with his finger through the window, and followed the look through the window, and just vanished.
Yeah.
But did you not look out the window to see?
No, because I was looking at my dad. You know, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It wasn't misty. It wasn't like smoke, like people say. He was in human form type of thing, you know.
But maybe if you'd have looked out the window, there would have been some other vision or some
But you
message.
don't think,
No.
do you? You know,
No.
when this happens, you just don't think of looking out through the window.
You'd be too flabbergasted looking at what you're looking at, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, I was an only child. I'm 73 now, but I was an only child, and I was very much loved. But my father was very, very strict with me,
Yeah.
and I couldn't understand why he'd come to me, because my mother and I, we'd got an affinity. I mean, I joined the army when I was 15. I went in when I was 16.
Yeah.
And my mother knew if I was off colour. I mean, we weren't on the phone those days.
Yeah.
But she'd sort of go in the pub where I'd ring. There was a landlord, Jim Warburton, and he used to take messages. But 9 times out of 10, my mother would know I was in this pub. I was going to ring that I wasn't well. And I've got the same thing with my own daughter.
The apparition you saw of your late husband?
No, my father.
Sorry, so your father. Was that the only apparition you've ever seen?
Well, I'm not frightened of things. I can't say I've seen anything. Like James was saying, people promise to come back.
Yeah.
Well, my mother and I were so close. As I say, she knew when I wasn't well, or she'd know when I was coming home on leave without me telling her. You know, sometimes we'd get a 24-hour pass or something. And she'd know I was coming home.
Yeah.
Well, when my mother died, it was in May 1949. She was 49 when she died in 1949. And she'd got a friend, and this friend had a white lilac tree in a garden. And every time this lilac tree flowered, this Mrs. Kirkham would cut the first blooms off and give them to my mother. Well, when my mother died, she'd always said she would come back to me. She said, I'll never ever leave you, I'll always be with you. Well, now, I'm on my own now, I'm a widow. But now, if I'm depressed or if I'm ill, I get the smell of lilac. So you don't have to see people.
Oh, no. To know that they're there.
To know that they're there. I mean, in the middle of winter, even when I was at work, you know, I'd perhaps having a bad day or whatever, and I'd get this lovely smell of white lilac.
Yeah.
And I think it's ever so comforting.
Yeah.
And I'd say to James, you don't have to see figures
No, to
or
know they're there.
spectres or ghosts or anything.
Sure, smells.
There's something, I mean, I'm not religious, but I've had too much happen to me to be religious.
But it is an awareness, isn't it?
But it's a lovely, comforting feeling. I'm never frightened of it. And all I'm going to say to you now is, if you wanted to desperately see anybody, is there any way you could see them without it being imagination?
No.
No.
No, definitely not.
See, so many people have said, oh, you know, I'm desperate to see me mum, me dad, and the only thing I can think of is that, you know, it's so much bigger, the next world, the spirit world, the afterlife, whatever, that you realise how meaningless your life on Earth was, and that there is no need to go and see or anything, Gwyneth, because they know that you're going to be okay, and it doesn't matter this shallow little trip down here.
No, I don't agree that your life is so worthless. I mean, I've lived my life. I've done an awful lot in it. As I say, I spent 4 years in the army.
Meaningless then, darling, in the sense of, you know, the great big meaning of everything.
But I think it's what impression you make on this work.
Well, I'm sure you're right.
You know,
I'm sure you're right.
You have to think you're going to a better world, I think it's either hell on earth.
Well, I mean, some people say that, you know, the hell that people talk of, Gwyneth, is the earth. This is the lowest level of anything, isn't it, Kelly? That's
I believe that. I firmly believe that.
I believe that. And I mean, I don't know whether I believe in afterlife. I don't know. I mean, I think it's too big to argue over. But the things that happen to people, listening tonight at these things that happen to people, mine weren't ghosts. Mine aren't ghosts. Mine are people that belong to me, that I know, that I just get comfort from. Now, whether it's, I don't think it's imagination. I'm not.
No, it's not imagination, because I mean I've seen several things personally, and I believe what I see. I mean, people say, well, you shouldn't believe all you see and don't believe all you read, you know.
But don't you think that there are things... Now, my husband died. Now, I'm left with a garden. I know nothing about gardening. He did everything in the garden.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll say, oh, for God's sake, Bill, what do I do with this damn plant?
Yeah.
And next thing, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing. Does that sound stupid?
It does, because you're being mentally told without being aware of it.
That's right. But it gives you comfort.
Of course it does.
And I think it's a lovely feeling.
It is.
Instead of being afraid of anything. You know, even in the army, as I say, I'd go to some places, turn a corner, and I knew immediately what was round that corner.
Like a deja vu.
Yeah. And I think it's lovely when you think, am I sounding stupid?
No, it's all good as no.
I'm just trying to say that the comfort I personally get from what is happening to me, I hope it will happen to other people. You don't have to see anybody.
But not everybody's like you, Gwyneth, that accepts it. People are genuinely afraid when they get these.
Oh, no, I mean, if I've lost 2 sons, I'd give anything to it come to me.
I think anybody would, Gwyneth. I mean, I've lost my dad and 2 brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
And I'd give anything to see him again today, but I never have.
Did nothing happen when you say you've lost your second son? Like the first?
No, well, I lost a baby 7 months.
Yeah.
And then the one that got killed on the motorbike, he was just 9 days off 70, after he was 70th birthday.
Yeah.
So I lost both my boys. I've got a daughter and grandson and granddaughter, which gives me a lot of comfort.
Yeah.
But you never forget the 2 boys.
You never forget, but you learn to live with.
Oh, you learn to, yes, you've got to, otherwise you go mental.
Yeah.
But it's the comfort you get from things that happen, and if any listeners are listening, don't be afraid. Just get comfort out of what you're having, because I think it's lovely, the warmth and the comfort to know that whether it's afterlife or whatever it is, that it's a lovely feeling.
And do you believe you will all be back together again?
I don't know. I'd love to think so, but I think it's too much to expect. I'd love to think I was going to join up with everybody I know, but...
But you should always expect the unexpected.
Well, I think I mean, I don't think anybody will ever come back and tell us, but I'd love to think that was what was going to happen, but at the moment I'm getting a lot of pleasure out of what I'm feeling.
Good. Good.
You know, I mean, this lilac, whether it's right or not, I just think, oh, well, my mother's with me. Being in the garden, knowing what I'm doing.
That's the connection, isn't it?
I like to think their husband's with me, telling me.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced this smell of lilac when you've been with somebody else and Dave?
No, nobody else has.
No.
I mean, I worked at GC in Stockport Park, which is a dirty, smelly place. And I'd been walking with somebody and got this lovely smell of... Perhaps I'm having a bad day, as I said before. And I'm walking, and I said, oh, can you smell that lilac? Now, they haven't smelt it, but I have.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just a personal message.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. What I'm relating to you is my personal feelings. But the comfort I get from it, I wish other people could get comfort from the same thing, because it would help so many people. And you don't feel as... I mean, I am on my own, and as I say, I'm nearly 74. But I don't feel lonely when this happens.
That's good. That's good.
You know, I don't feel as if I'm on my own. I feel as if...
And I'm certain people will draw off your very words.
Well, I hope they do.
Yeah.
This is why I rang up, really.
Yeah, please,
because I wouldn't like people to be frightened.
Well, lots of people are. It's a perfectly natural thing, Gwyneth, to be frightened of the unknown, of course. I suppose most people are... Not most, but a lot of people are frightened by death. I guess the pain and also the fear of the unknown. Is it that thing they're going to rot in hell? No, of course they're not. But yeah, it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? It's like, you know, when you jump off somewhere into utter blackness, you know, what the heck are you going to hit at the bottom? We don't do it on Earth, but we can do it in our mind. More calls for Kenny and Dave. Got about another 10 or 12 people. We'll try and get you all on before the end of the show.